Okay, we want to kick off the call. We're ready. All right, wonderful. So my name is Jessica Weinstein. I am the OEM Program Manager for Genesis. We have on the screen here Matt Evans, who's going to speak of all things Digad, and then you have Melissa Sector, who's going to go over the under half funnel talking first-party data.
Cool. I guess I can just kind of jump in and start the agenda. Obviously, thanks for the intro, Jessica. Matt Evans, Director of Client Solutions. We'll kick things off. Melissa will go through the discussion of the AutoMiner, our CDP platform. Then I'll run through our digital advertising solutions, in addition to our market intelligence platform. And then we'll talk about our reporting a little bit. Really just kind of a little bit of background on PureCars. Since 2007, when we were founded, we've been focused on nothing other than automotive. It's the only vertical that we work in, so we're completely dedicated to automotive. Fast forwarding to 2012 is when we got into the digital advertising space. And then from there, 2023, with the acquisition of the AutoMiner, we got into our customer data platform with the AutoMiner. So I will pass it over to Melissa, and we will talk about the AutoMiner.
Thank you, Matt. My name is Melissa Sector. I'm the Senior Director of Client Experience on the AutoMiner side of the house. So what AutoMiner is really taking in first-party data from all different sources and making it actionable throughout your entire marketing plan. So obviously we ingest data and then we're able to clean it, meaning we VIN verify, we're able to verify phone numbers and email addresses, as well as physical locations. Everything is kept nice and secure in our CDP. And then from there, we're able to action it in digital advertising, direct marketing to customers, all of those pieces that integrate into your overall marketing strategy, because it's your data and we would like to just be the stewards of it to make sure that all of your marketing is more efficient and effective. You can go to the next slide. So what this does is we have an industry-leading tool. We work seamlessly in all of your digital advertising, and we're able to create custom audiences within your database because we understand how we're marketing to our sales customers and how we're marketing to our service retention customers are very different. So we're very bendy in how we're slicing and dicing that customer database and how we're making the recommendations on how to utilize these audiences within your digital advertising. So this is at a look of what AutoMiner does. So we're able to pull in data from your website, your CRM, your DMS, any manifest list you may receive from the OEM or customer lists, put those all in one place, make sure that we don't have duplicates, make sure that we have the correct information for VIN registration, contact information, all of those good things. And there we can easily action it into your digital advertising, direct via email, video, direct mail, SMS, and then even export lists anywhere that you would like, specifically your BDC call lists, making sure that you have the cleanest data list possible. This is what that data layering looks like. It's what we call our golden customer record. So we understand that there's going to be multiple records from DMS sales, from service records, that salespeople and service writers are going to put in different information. So you may have one customer record 3, 5, 17 times, and you don't know, or there's no real easy way to figure out which is the correct contact info, what is the correct VIN, all of those pieces. So our system is able to layer those pieces together, run through multiple national databases for verification of various touch points, and then spit out a unique human being of what we call our golden customer record. So whenever we talk about our pulling in data from our website, our tool Pure Identity is actually able to de-anonymize your website traffic and match it back to customers that have transacted with you previously. So whenever you're looking at traffic that's been on your site this week, last week, today, all time, those are actually saying these are your customers that have transacted with you in the past that we're able to identify. The subset of customers that we're actually not able to identify, or mystery shoppers, are people that have never transacted with you. And those customers can live in a different bucket that we can action via Digad. So hopefully they come back to your site, they put in a lead, and then we can match them back properly and say, okay, this is person that has given you their information and they have been on your site. Here are the pages that they're looking at. So again, we can take those lists and build them into a BDC call list, hit them with a targeted message based off of the inventory pages that they're looking at. Send them back to service pages if they visited those but didn't action or schedule an appointment, because we can see all of those little pieces. So it's really just making sure that we're in front of the right customers at the right time with the right message. And with Pure Identity, we understand that customer and what they have versus what they're looking at, because we know we all have those clickbait vehicles on our site, those supercars, those pretty ones that are high end but aren't necessarily our top sellers. So they're great to look at, but if we don't have the Pure Identity piece and we don't know that Nathan, for example, is married with 4 kids and currently owns an 8-passenger SUV, but is daydreaming about the supercar that's on our site, and we're just doing traditional retargeting, we're gonna waste ad dollars and impressions trying to serve him super vehicle ads, as opposed to, hey, we understand this one's pretty, but this is really the vehicle that fits your needs best. So it's more efficient with our time and our ad dollars. So with Pure Identity, we're capturing that customer information, we're matching it back to customers that have transacted with you previously, and then we're able to activate that as well. And then we have another added layer of reporting with our Pure Identity tool. So we're actually looking at every single customer. We're removing bot traffic, we're removing all the nonsense, we're removing irrelevant customers or removing irrelevant searches on your site, because we understand what's happening in your AOR. So you can see the funnel drop drastically. So that's truly narrowing it down to who is relevant traffic for you to match back to. So again, we can see the inventory that they're looking at, where it corresponds to our levels, what our match back rates are, what our average spend on all of our advertising is, all of those little pieces to really build a full picture of your digital advertising strategy so we can make better recommendations. And jumping back to the audience creation that we talked about. So there's thousands of different ways on the sales and service sides of the house that we can slice and dice your customer database. We do have recommended cadences on both sales and service side because we understand the low-hanging fruit in the dealership, but we also want to leave space to make sure that any manifest lists that are received or any changes that are happening in the dealership say, hey, we have a tire special or we need to get more alignments in. Fantastic. Let's build a strategy around that. So we can find and have really intelligent conversations about how to reactivate on the service side as well as the sales side. This is one of our more fun, newer tools. This is our automated campaign engine. So this is action-based triggers based off of how the customers are interacting with the messages that we send out. So let's say the first action is we sent out an email. If a customer opens the list and we want our BDC to immediately start calling those customers, we can set up a trigger to export the list of customers that opened directly to your BDC. If the email bounced for some reason, we can set up an automatic trigger for an SMS follow-up with the same message, all sorts of different triggers to make sure that we're following up with the customers, that we're staying in front of them, that we're always pushing them back to our site to action. So why is all of this important? We have our clean audiences. So we know who owns, we know their verified contact info, we know where they live. So that just makes our targeting and our audiences so much more integral into all of our marketing channels. We can drop audiences directly to Google, to Meta. We can have direct mail, email marketing, BDC call lists. We can utilize all of these audiences across your entire platform, across your entire dig ad strategy. And this is just an example of how those audiences have affected change inside of a dealership. So Meta came to us back in Q4 and wanting to test how their new Advantage Plus audiences performed when tagged onto clean data. Because anybody can upload lists, but as it stands, AutoMiner is the only company that has the ability to directly drop clean data audiences into their platform. So we focused on vehicle acquisition and new car sales with AIA. Excuse me. And what we found was truly impressive, with the reduction of cost per lead down significantly for vehicle acquisition ads and new car sales targeting customers that were in equity. We saw a jump in VDP views, and we understand more VDP views means more car sales, as well as a nice jump in reach across both ads. So every test cell that we had, the audiences that we applied the clean data and and Advantage Plus audience to greatly outperformed everything else. So everybody was extremely pleased. And our favorite question is, okay, if I add in AutoMiner PureCars, what are the tools that I can either replace, or what do you integrate with? So we have a super fun flowchart for everyone. I'm not going to go through everything, but just know AutoMiner can integrate very seamlessly across multiple different channels. So obviously your digital advertising, call tracking, we integrate with DMS, with your website, with your CRM, things that you can replace if you have an extra data mining tool, or you're doing data hygiene somewhere else, or you're even buying data in direct mail from another company. Those are things that we can take on your behalf. So you can consolidate costs and vendors in one.
Awesome.
Right, I'll kick it back over to Matt.
Awesome. That was great. Thanks, Melissa. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I'll jump in and shift gears over to the digital advertising side of things. So PureCars, I kind of already mentioned, automotive is 100% where we're focused, making us one of the leading digital advertising partners within the automotive space. Kind of some areas that we'll touch on today is channels that we're actively advertising on. Search, social, display, OTT, video, on channels such as Amazon, Google, Meta, etc. In addition to that, we'll talk a little bit in more detail about audience targeting. Melissa, of course, went into detail on first-party data, but I certainly want to talk a little bit about third-party data as well, as that's still incredibly relevant in regards to getting the right messages in front of the right people at the right time. So really just reiterating what I just said: right message, right people at the right time. PureCars, utilizing our Pure Insights market overview tool, is going to be a way that we leverage current market data to find opportunities within the market, so we can put those right messages in front of the right people in the actual right location. Because of the data that we have, we're able to take a look at market trends, market opportunities. That way we can focus specifically down to the model level, putting the right marketing, the right advertising into those specific areas, on channels like search, social, video, in addition to things like text and email as well. So just kind of looking at an omni-channel approach with what we'll do here at PureCars. And this really is omni-channel. A lot of times when we talk about that in digital advertising, we're really only talking about video to that search piece. We're not including email and direct mail, also SMS as well on top of that. So our capabilities really start the process high funnel around that video and OTT, and follow that customer all the way until the point of purchase at email, direct mail, and even follow up, post purchase on things like email. So really just leveraging all channels, from paid search all the way to email and direct mail. Kind of just running through each channels. We'll just talk a little bit about the highlights of things that are working on each channel, and a little bit of the things that set PureCars apart. So paid search, that's really a broad category of multiple campaign types. We obviously have our standard text ads that most people are familiar with. That's like the bottom, the sponsored ad. That's going to be when someone does a search for a specific model, a GV80 for sale near me, that might populate. But what might also populate is the new Google vehicle listing ads, which have gained a ton of popularity in the last couple years. You can see the example on the screen kind of in the middle with the different shopping ads. Fantastic way to drive a lot of website traffic directly to VDPs on your website. And here I'll also tie this back a little bit to the AutoMiner and what Melissa talked about with Pure Identity. with things like Google vehicle listing ads, this drives a lot of traffic to those VDPs, and a lot of that traffic just frankly isn't going to convert. 98+% of people today don't submit a lead, they don't call the dealership. But what Pure Identity will help us to do is identify, have those shoppers been to your website before? Have they done business with you? Is the vehicle they're searching for now different than what they purchased in the past? So then we can use that data to continue the messaging, with the correct message in front of people. Additionally, something else I really want to talk about is Google Performance Max. That's the image on the top right of the screen. You can see what Performance Max in a nutshell is it's a multi media campaign within Google that allows us to run video, display, search ads, in addition to ads in the Discovery channel, Gmail, and the Map Pack. And the reason this is such a lucrative and important campaign type is because Google uses their AI and machine learning technology to follow the user throughout that whole entire shopping journey. So think when someone just starts, looking for vehicles, maybe they don't even really know what brand or what vehicle they want. They start doing research. So they start going to different websites. They're maybe looking at, BMWs, possibly a Genesis, maybe an Acura. The reason this is important is because we can actually target with these campaign types users who have visited specific websites. So maybe it's your competitor, maybe it's different OEMs, and we can actually add them as audience signals. So we can start putting your messaging in front of those users. So think if we're running like a GV80 campaign, we can start targeting people also maybe looking at an X5 or an MDX and start putting your messaging in front of them and let Google really work their magic, following them through that pipeline to the point of purchase. And this is a campaign that is leveraged and optimized for conversion. So it's really amazing. We typically see like a 2 to 3 increase in conversions as opposed to something like a traditional text ad on a model campaign. So really good stuff there. Next, we'll just kind of touch in on video advertising a little bit. Our capabilities here are great. Obviously, we can touch things like Google, YouTube TrueView. We can advertise on the Disney channel. One channel that I really want to dive into is our capabilities within the Amazon platform, and also tying back in the AutoMiner conversation and that first-party data. This is another channel that we can load that user data in here, getting in front of those right people, or maybe ensuring that we're not getting in front of the wrong people. Maybe they've already purchased. There's no sense in spending advertising dollars putting something in front of someone that has already purchased. So the Amazon platform, I'm sure everybody watching this has heard from Amazon and likely probably purchased something on Amazon in the last week. I know we get deliveries in my house almost every single day from Amazon. With that being said, Amazon has a ton of data about all of us. They have 190 million registered vehicles within the Amazon My Garage, meaning that they know specifically what vehicles people own, generally how many miles are on those vehicles, and they also know things such as buying behavior. So, they can tell trends. Do people have kids? Have people recently been married? These things are all important because when we're putting advertising audiences together, when we can leverage Amazon's data, we can ensure that we're putting the right message in front of the right people. In addition to that, PureCars, we're one of the few people in the automotive space that can actually say that we have a exclusive relationship with Amazon, meaning that we can advertise directly on the Amazon demand side platform, meaning that we don't have to go through a third-party vendor of any sort. So what that means for you as the dealer is lower cost. Typically, we see about a 20% lower cost on the CPM, cost per million, than other vendors who have to go through a third party. So cost savings is amazing there. And one thing that's really cool about Amazon too is we still have the flexibility to advertise at the zip code level, which is something that we've lost on a lot of platforms such as Google and Facebook. Really not a whole lot of detail here. I'll just kind of show you can see, we're obviously serving a rich, great creative across multiple platforms from video to audio to display. And then moving into paid social, obviously, Melissa tied in that case study that I absolutely love that we did with Meta and their Advantage Plus audience targeting, because really when you can get an additional 20 times reach on a vehicle acquisition campaign, or extended reach on a vehicle listing, or I'm sorry, an AIA ad, that's just money saved for you, and that's just additional reach that you'll get with your advertising dollars. It's just, you take that amount of money you're spending, you're just going to get that much more reach with it. So it's extremely powerful when we start layering in that first party data into these solutions. On Facebook, obviously, AIA ads, which are like the carousel ads, very popular. Those are inventory driven, so we can segment those in many ways. Maybe it's vehicles that are aged on your lot. Maybe it's SUVs. We can build those into all sorts of different filtered campaign types. In addition to that, fixed ops, that's a huge opportunity. Again, pulling in that first party data here to make sure that we put those campaigns in front of the right people, or on the flip side, making sure that the wrong people don't see your message. And then really anything else, we can do all the creative, putting together any sort of custom ad that we would like to put out there as well. So really the opportunities within Facebook are really endless. We can do all sorts of stuff there. On the display and retargeting channels here, we're obviously leveraging great third-party data here. We have access to Oracle. We can do any sort of retargeting with price drop alerts. All that's dynamic. So obviously, as users come to your website, they'll be followed around with those correct messages as well. Email marketing. I know Melissa touched on this a little bit. Obviously, the email marketing services that we do require an AutoMiner subscription, but here the big highlights, there's no campaign limits here. We can do as many emails, as many campaigns that you choose to do. In addition to that, obviously, it's fully customizable. We can do the creative on your behalf, only looking for approval on the creative that we do. And also we have that co-video integration too, so we're able to put that video directly into our email marketing. Lastly, direct mail. Again, this is an AutoMiner service as well. The capabilities here are really endless as far as what we put together, who we send it to, and it is, of course, co-op and compliance approved here as well. So really, what does all this get you? Ultimately, the number here that jumps out to me the most is reduced ad waste. When you're using all PureCars channels, the full stack of what we have to offer, we typically see a 55% reduction in ad waste, which ultimately just gets you more reach, more advertising for your dollars, ultimately getting more people into your showroom to sell to, or to your service bays as well. Higher conversion typically. Again, going back to that Meta case study, that those are numbers directly that we saw with Meta. More conversions, more reach, and ultimately a lower cost per sale, 28% on average. Just kind of touching really quick on some of our partners. We obviously talked a little bit about Oracle. We also work with Polk. Again, DV360 with Google, Amazon, Direct Seat on the DSP. One thing also, again, on Amazon is just that exclusive relationship, having the ability to advertise directly on their platform without going through that third-party provider is really huge. Now, really, we've talked about what we can do. Now, how do we ensure that it's working? A lot of that's going to tie back to our reporting tool. We have our Pure Insights dashboard, making it a really easy place to go. We can see where we spend money, how much money we spent. We can also pull really good quality demographic details down to the zip code level, so we can really identify, again, those opportunities, who we're targeting, and then really just tying it all back to benchmarking against your market. Are we winning? Are we gaining market share? Because really, as a month-to-month agency, as far as how you work with us for contracts, we have to every month show our value. What did we do to help gain market share, to show value? So this reporting really helps us to prove our worth and show our value through what we do. Included in here are some just kind of some feedback from some of the people that we've worked with in the past. And then really just we have, of course, different packages put together as well. That really wraps up our digital advertising conversation.
Well, thank you so much, Matt. I really appreciate that. Wonderful. Any questions that do come up, you can feel free. I will send Matt as well as Melissa's contact information with this deck along to the Genesis distro. It'll have my contact information as well. And then always feel free to reach out to Genesis at PureCars. Thank you.